Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the update for yesterday, which was April the 30th of 2026. So what did I do? I had a payroll office day. That, again, is that beautiful 4 to 1 shift where essentially kind of working in the back doing some admin assistant type of stuff while also working with payroll processing on a bunch of different things. And this was a no issues kind of day, the kind we like. So, yeah, smooth day all in all. Now, before I go any further though, I want to show you guys a picture. And go ahead and put that up here. And this is actually from August of 2004. Going to give you a little bit of context here. First, that airplane is I believe the very first Boeing 747 ever built. I was way into aviation at that time. As a matter of fact, I still am. And at that time, Flight Simulator was my number one pastime, almost obsessive little hobby, and so I was really into all things airliner. So that's why we're there. And that car is, believe it or not, is Mom's truck, and she still owns it. And it's still it's in the shop as of a few days ago for something, and I actually need to follow up on with her and see what that ended up being. But she still has that same Explorer, and it still runs like a freaking dream most of the time. Because Mom is really, 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 really into maintenance. And the proof is in the pudding. One of these days I'm going to start doing a series on restoring my Mustang. Which, is a thing because I've learned that the hard way. But anyway, so that was Mom's car. And and of course those styles. Mom at this point would have been, gosh, in her early 60s. And, look at that fashion. And then compare it to me, right? So there I am in that, early 2000s cringe, mall clothing store yellow thing with the, and the coloring that photograph is not perfect. And by the way, Dad took that photo. In the real version of that shirt, the sleeves are a little bit more navy blue. They look blacker there, but yeah, it's like bright yellow and navy blue sleeves. Now, Mom's style probably could still be pulled off, but if that early 2000s cringe shirt I had on were to surface, no longer ironically vintage, and yeah. But anyway, whatever happened to that thing? So, the reason I mentioned though, the Seattle trip, believe it or not, this was actually the very day after I received a bit of a promotion. Or at least this trip was the very day. Long story short, when I first started, I basically did cart pushing for a year, and then primarily register for a year. And then our manager named Chris, at the time, he decided I should try the refund desk, customer service. So, and I'm pretty excited about this. I wanted to, do well, and it's something new, right? So, and I think we ended up sliding the Boeing field trip over by a day so that it wouldn't conflict with this class to make sure that I got into this so that I could do something different because again I was excited about it, which based on the fact that I'd ultimately end up doing the refund desk for way too long and getting way too burnt out on it, you'd be amazed to hear. But indeed I was excited at that point, and I'd gone through the training and was now just basically had my Seattle trip, and almost excited to get back because I wanted to try this stuff that I just learned about the customer service desk before, which I'd have to wait until the following Sunday to do. As I recall, the class was like Monday and Tuesday, and then I was going to Seattle. Anyway, and the thing about customer service desk training is it was different then. All right, now it's done actually sometimes at my store, but always but there are a couple of different locations where they do it in my town now. Back then, they didn't do this type of training in my town. You had to go to the next town over. And the next town over also inconveniently was across the state line. So you had to cross the state line, and that meant that certain things like taxes and the way Fish and Wildlife and lottery worked and whatnot were actually different than in the place where you were actually going to be working. And the training room was not like one of these little bright little lit rooms like we have now. It was like a dingy basement beneath a location that was so old the site was probably planned by the founder himself. And yeah, it was a sight. It was an experience. And the trainer was super freaking chill about all of this, about how just goofy this entire setup was. And also told some hysterical stories about the way things actually worked up there. And it turned out actually that the trainer was the gal from that role, or the gal in charge of the refund desk at the store where I work now. I didn't work there now. At that point, I worked at a different location just down the road. Anyway, when she found out that I actually lived very close to her location, she actually offered to drive me down as like a carpool thing for the next day, which was awesome because the traffic down to there was awful. You're stuck in rush hour both directions, and it sucked and whatnot. So anyway, we ended up getting these hilarious conversations back and forth for the second day of this training, and it left me actually feeling quite good about the customer service desk in my mind as I went up to go see the Museum of Flight in that ridiculous early 2000s looking shirt. Anyway, the reason I mention all of this, and there is a reason for it, is because during this payroll office shift, we got the confirmation of something that we've been hearing about. So during COVID, things get shifted. People get shifted around in these positions quite a bit in the company that I worked for. Anyway, the lady that had been my trainer for customer service 15 years earlier is all of a sudden back at my location, still at the refund desk. And that was pretty awesome. Ended up working alongside her for like 5 or 6 years. Probably like 5 years. And anyway, mathematically speaking, somebody who had been there a while back in 2004, well, it's retirement time. And long story short, found out that retirement actually jumped up by like 2 months and is actually going to be in like 2 weeks. Shocker of the day. But the thing is, when you've been working in a place like I have as long as I have, this is now becoming a thing. And I'm sure I'm going to have more to say about that in a couple of weeks. Anyway, thanks for joining me all the way to the end here. God, it's like late because I have accounting office tomorrow. Alright, ciao for now, everyone. Talk to you soon.